There you go. Good afternoon, everyone, or good evening if you are joining us from somewhere else in the world. My name is Hannah. I am a member of staff here at Black Cultural Archives, and we are live streaming from 1 Windrush Square, our infamous HQ. Thank you for joining us today. Today is a bit of fun. We are going to be making cocktails with our Market Row Rum, which is part of our new 40th range. If you haven't checked it out, please head over to our website, post this streaming, and get yourself some great things. We've got rum, we've got cups, we've got cushions, tea towels, coasters. If you think we've got it, it might be there. So hop over there and buy it at the end. It's also a chance for you to donate to BCA and allow us to continue the great work that we do here in collecting, preserving, and celebrating Black British history. So I guess I'll tell you a bit about how we came up with this partnership. So Market Row Rum and the distillery is based in Brixton, and as part of our 40th, we wanted to do something fun, and what better way to celebrate than with rum? As we all know, we love to drink rum, we love to have parties, and just to let you know, we've got staff in the building, so if you hear them, that's them in the background. They're drinking cocktails already. As we said, it's brunch and play with BCA. So we wanted to do something, and we thought, why not do something in the local area to create partnerships, to celebrate local businesses. And the Market Row Distillery is down the road from us. They're a lovely set of guys who brew their own rum using ingredients from both the Caribbean and Africa. And they're all ingredients you can buy in the local market. So this morning I went down, I bought my ingredients. I've got my mango pulp, I've got my watermelon, I've got my cayenne pepper. We all love a bit of spice. We've got the Scotch bonnets. Team, I don't know how much I'm gonna add, so be ready. And yeah, you can buy it all in the local market. It's a chance to come down if you're ever in Brixton, buy your ingredients, pop over to BCA, buy your rum, you can go home, you can have cocktails. So I hope you're ready, I hope you're at home, whether you've got some food on the go, or you've got friends around, or it's just you and your family. This is a chance to have some drinks, have some food. We'll be having some food at the end as well. We've got some patties, we've got some chicken, guys. I've got you prepped, I've got you covered. So as you know, one of the things you needed to do was make a cordial. If you haven't made the cordial already, don't worry, we're gonna make it here in the building today. Just gonna put my little stove on in the corner. So the first one we're going to make is the Brixton Cordial. And what you'll need for that is some pineapple juice, some ginger, some Scotch bonnet, some hibiscus, and some sugar. So we're going to start with 1 cup of pineapple juice. In true Blue Peter fashion, I've already got it ready. So add your 1 cup of pineapple juice. And again, if you don't have a proper measure, just use a cup and use the same cup as you go along. That way you know the ingredients are to the correct ratio. And then you want your 2 slices of ginger. What they're going to do is they're going to start simmering, brewing. You know, we want the ancestral flavor to come out. We want it to brew. I'm not going to stop it until the ancestors tell me. Once that is getting to boiling point, so give it a little bit. If you've got, hopefully your stove is hotter than mine. Mine's just come on, so give me a while. Once that gets to boiling point, you want to get your 1.5 cups of sugar and add it in. If you don't have the caster sugar we asked you to get, then just get normal sugar. Then you want some Scotch bonnets. It says 2 slices. If you can handle the heat, add a whole one. If you can't, but be careful, guys. We're not taking any responsibility for it. Keep it stirring. You want everything dissolved, so you don't want to see the granules of sugar. Does that make sense? Keep it going, and you want 1/2 cup of hibiscus. Now this is dried hibiscus, and again, you can get it straight from Brixton Market. It comes in a little packet, and you want to brew it. Keep it going, keep it cooking on a low heat. You don't want to burn it, but you want to see that color coming out. It should be a little light pink, and again, made some in already. That's the color you want to be going for. If If you've got someone to help you, bring them in, keep it going. They can be stirring it and you can get it ready. Can you hear that? Can you hear it? Can you hear the mix? Mix, muddle and mash, guys. Are you ready? Are you mixing with me? Let's go. Right, so that should be done in a couple of minutes. And again, all the ingredients we've just used are fresh. They're also vegetarian, and therefore they can be used for both the non-alcoholic and the alcoholic cocktails, okay? So our cordials are good to go. My sugar has almost dissolved, so I'm gonna assume yours has too. Especially because I'm using a one hob pot thing. I don't know what you call this, but
Hot plate.
Hot plate, thank you. Right. And then you want to get a jug. Get a sieve if you've got one, and literally just strain it in. See that lovely color coming out? Can you smell the aroma of the fresh ingredients? Well, I'm gonna see if anyone's up for a challenge in here. Who's up to eat a piece of the Scotch bonnet?
No.
Oh,
No thanks.
no? Oh, no
No.
takers, no takers, no takers. What do we call them?
You have to eat.
Someone said I have to eat, but no, we've got a live stream, and unless you want me going into A&E, it's not going to be me. So leave that to one side and it can cool. And then we will go on to the second cordial so that it is ready. And what you need for that, mixing jug. Right. And then in the mixing jug, you want, once again, your hibiscus, dried hibiscus, just half a cup. Add it in. You want a cup of boiling water. Add your cup of boiling water. And then you want to stir it until it turns red. You can see that. It's getting a nice, deep red color. This is what it's going to look like at the end. Now, funnily enough, the hibiscus flower is actually the flower that is associated with my birth sign. So I definitely love it. So if anyone wants to buy me some hibiscus flowers, I'm at 1 Windrush Square. And then, as the red is coming out, you want, once again, 1.5 cups of sugar. Yes, in case you're wondering, this is going to be very, very sweet. And you just want to stir it until it has all dissolved. So give it a good stir. You don't want any of those granules left in. You don't want to give it a grainy taste, but you do want it to be sweet. You want it to be aromatic, and you want to taste that flavor and smell it as you drink the cocktails a bit later. And just as before, strain it into a cup with your sieve and leave that to one side to cool. But as I've already got some, I'll just be using the pre-made ones. If you made yours over the weekend or earlier this week, bring it out the fridge, get ready to use it. And that, my guys, is as easy as it is to make the cordials. Who wants to give it a little taste? Feel free. We've got a little shot glass I can give you. So you guys can have a little taste of the cordial and tell us what you think about it. Can you, 1, 2, 3.
Oh, that's very sweet.
There we go. That's what I said. Sweet, aromatic, and ready to go. Now, I'm going to ask for one of my beautiful members of staff to be a volunteer. Any takers? Any takers? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome. So everybody meet Christine. Christine is another member of staff here at BCA. If you ever come down, you will see her floating around, doing what she does best and giving you guidance as you walk around through BCA. She's one of our visitor assistants and she's one of our newest members of the team. Thank you for joining me. So today we are going to make the first cocktail. Now we don't have a name for it yet. So as we make it, see what you think it's going to be called. I'm going to give you 2 ways of making it, both the alcoholic version and the non-alcoholic version. We will be making a non-alcoholic version first. Okay. So you want to get a Boston shaker if you've got one. If you don't have one, get a cup. Just make sure you're careful so you don't smash it. This is for you, Christine. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
So you want 150 mils of pineapple juice. So use one of these. We've got a 125 and a 25 mil. Fill it up and pour it in. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I'm cheating slightly. I didn't squeeze my lime juice fresh this morning, so we're just using some pre-squeezed one. And then you want 15 mils of lime juice. So it's just a bit above half. If you don't have any measurers, a teaspoon holds just about 5 mils. So count your 5 mils. We all did our 5 times table. That's how you can figure out what you're doing. And then you want the 20 mils of the Brixton Cordial, as we made earlier, guys. That's it. And then you want your mango pulp. This is literally the smallest tin I could find this morning, so we're going with it. So you want about 2 teaspoons of it. There we go. Now, put some ice into the shaker. Fill it up to the top. Don't be shy. All the way.
Nice and cold.
Nice and cold, exactly. How are you finding it, Christine?
Good.
Is this your first time making a cocktail?
It is actually.
Great. So just like everyone at home, you're getting to grips with it. Now you want to close it hard, hold it up here, and give it a good shake. Now while Christine's doing that, if you just stand to the side slightly and do a little dance for us, I will talk you through how to do the alcoholic version if you want to. So for the alcoholic version, you will need 50 mils, that's 50 mils of the Market Row Rum, or whichever rum you're using at home. But next time you better buy the Market Row one at BCA, £34 a bottle. Then you will want 25 mils of lime juice, you add it in, and then you want 20 mils of your Brixton Cordial. That's the first one that we made. You want 10 mils of the mango pulp and 10 mils of the pineapple juice. And just like Christine did, you add it all into the shaker, give it a good shake, and it should be ready. And then you want to grab your cup. Now, if you've got martini glasses, if you've got a coupe glass, that's perfect as it will come out quite small. If you don't, any glass will do. Open it up, Christine, give it a pour. Pour it all out, darling. Don't be shy. All right, there we go. Yeah? Now on camera, I want you to taste it and give us the verdict.
Oh, it's really good. Yeah.
And that is the non-alcoholic version, guys. Christine has actually never tasted it before. So that reaction is a true and genuine reaction. So now you can taste it. You remember the ingredients you put in. What flavors is it giving you?
I'm getting the mango actually, even though it's only 2 teaspoons.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really tasting the mango.
What name are you feeling? Come on. What name are you feeling?
I think it needs to have some kind of a tropical name because it's got the lime and the mango.
Okay, a tropical dream, a tropical BCA. What are we feeling, guys? What are you feeling at home? If you've made the cocktail, whether the alcoholic version, whether the non-alcoholic version, drop some names in the chat for us. We need to name this cocktail. What are you thinking? We've got tropical dream, tropical sunrise. Do we just call it the BCA? Don't know. You tell us. What are you thinking? So that is the first one. I will empty these out and give everything a wash. Let's have a lovely, drop some well done, congratulations, little hands of applause for Christine. Christine, you may go and enjoy your cocktail now. So I will just clean these out. And now we also are going to take a little break from hearing my voice. And we have a special guest joining us. We have someone who is an academic, an enthusiast. He is a strong supporter of BCA as well, Dr. Gordon Gill. Dr. Gordon Gill has a PhD in history from Howard University in Washington, D.C. He's taught courses over in the Caribbean, the African diaspora, and Africa at Howard University in Washington, Oberlin College in Ohio, USA, and at SOAS right here in London. He's in the process of completing a book and manuscript entitled Restructuring the Swamp, Labour, Resistance and Identity in the Slave Society of British Guiana, 1781 to 1834. And he's here today to tell you a little bit about some research he's done into just how rum can bring communities together. So Dr. Gill, I am so thankful for having you here. Welcome to the BCA, even if it is virtually, and say hello to our audience at home.
Thank you.
Can you hear me, Dr.
Welcome, everyone. I can hear you loud and clear. What about, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
We can indeed.
Oh,
yes,
good.
we can.
Can you see me?
I can see you as well. Definitely.
So, all systems go.
All systems go, and it's over to you.
Are you ready for me?
About the research you've done and what your take is on rum.
Okay. What I'm going to be talking about today is rum as it was used by our enslaved African ancestors. So without further ado, let me begin my little presentation. Residents to such places as Guyana, Suriname on the South American coast, and Jamaica, Cuba, Barbados, Trinidad, and many other Caribbean islands are well aware of the very important role of rum as a social stimulant in those societies. The importance of rum to the people in these societies goes back to the slavery era, when people were forcibly taken from the West and West Central Africa areas across the Atlantic via the horrendous transatlantic trade in captive Africans, also known as the Middle Passage. The use of alcohol was widespread throughout West and West Central Africa societies for centuries. Its consumption was ritualized, linked with belonging to kinship or wider groups, and a required ingredient for funerals, weddings, or rites of passage. Its use was often associated with specific rituals related to the agricultural cycle, the pouring of libations, or the visiting of shrines. For example, among the people of the Gold Coast, alcoholic drinks were treasured fluids, for they bridged the gap between the physical and the spiritual world. And a harmonious balance between the two worlds was crucial to human existence and prosperity. Most Africans shared similar beliefs about the spiritual and importance of alcohol in West and West Central Africa, believing that alcohol facilitated communication with the spirit world. The consumption of rum played an integral part in ritual activities in the Caribbean in such events as funerals, wakes, and healings. Rum was also an important ingredient in the role of organized slave revolts. For example, rum was widely used as an oath drink in British Caribbean slave revolts, and it reveals that slaves sought to mobilize all potential allies, including ancestral spirits, through the powerful symbolism of rum. An example is the 1736 slave conspiracy in Antigua. The conspirators were initiated at a feast where, after food and drink, they took a solemn vow to kill whites. Sometimes the oath was upon a grave with an impressive ritual by drinking to the ones held in liquor, either rum or some other, mixed with grave dirt and sometimes cock's blood, among other ingredients. In 1814 in Guyana, a plot for a slave revolt was betrayed by a fellow slave to the colonial authorities, and it resulted in the arrest of 36 of the conspirators and their leaders, and it led to a trial. And at the end of the trial, 6 men were condemned to death. One of the men decided to call a fellow slave and confess. And essentially what he said was that, yes, there was a plot, and he confirmed his participation in the conspiracy. And this is an important detail. He argued that if they were waiting on a jug of rum to arrive before they started the rebellion, in other words, he was suggesting that if the rum had arrived at a previous appointed time, the rebellion would have started. Now, the question remains, why was the rum important? I think personally that the rum was a part of a ritual which would help to facilitate this rebellion. Another example of the use of rum is that in these slave societies, people were trying to reorganize themselves after the shattering effects of the transatlantic slave. And many people tend to organize themselves based on what we now consider ethnic groups. So, for example, you have people coming from the West Central African area, called the Congos. And in one case in Guyana again, they had a ritual whereby they were going to appoint an individual as king of the Congos. So part of the ritual involved carrying him and his wife from one plantation to another. He was carried in the hammock by 4 of his countrymen. And at the end of the procession, at the head of the procession, there were people with flags and shacks, as they call them, and singing, "The king is coming, the king is coming." And at the end of that particular procession or ritual, an individual met them with a bottle of rum, which he was going to give to the hammock bearers as part of this particular ritual. Another way that people try to bring themselves to form communities in slave societies or through feasts. Feasts are normally basically rituals that involve communal consumption of food and drink. And rituals of this kind play many important social and economic and political roles in the lives of people throughout the world. They had to create and maintain social relations that bind people together in various intersecting groups and networks. And for example, they're important in establishing sentiments of friendship, kinship, and community solidarity. So whenever people during the slave era, they would organize these so-called feasts, it involved food and also the drinking of rum. Rum was also very important in another central belief of African people, and that is in death and funerals. In the slave communities in the African diaspora, funerals were important occasions for articulating and negotiating values, as they were and continue to be in Africa. So, for example, we have a case in 1813, again in Guyana, the burial of an old enslaved woman. And she was accompanied to the grave by many weeping mourners, who, as soon as she was placed in the grave, several of them took a glass of rum, drank a part, and threw the remainder into the grave. The observer said, "I suppose their parting glass, wishing her a good passage and a pleasant interview, with her friends, etc., who she would meet on the other side. However, I found this very funny. Some of the mourners, rather than they were supposed to drink some of the rum and throw some into the glass, but obviously some of them decided they were going to drink the whole glass of rum. I presume no one should be surprised about that. Her son, it is said, stood a considerable time at the end of the grave and made a long speech, and he then threw a glass of rum upon the coffin. A few weeks after the funeral, which is a normal practice, they gave a feast for the deceased, and they had what they call a dance. But basically, this is a form of a wake, a pre-death, post-death wake. And at that particular wake, the observer said it was attended with a great deal of noise, let's call it rejoicing, drinks, which obviously was rum, and singing. Rum was also used for other ritual activities. For example, rum was used in a case whereby the particular community, but a lot of the women were having what we call stillbirths, and the children were dying shortly after birth. And so one of the slave leaders of the community decided to hire or bring in a ritual specialist. And the description of the ritual at the very beginning, the main slave leader of that particular plantation, it was said, call the people together on the plantation, gathered took a ram's horn, poured some rum into it, drank it, and told the people, okay, this man is here to take care of the problem, the trouble we're having on the plantation. The ritual leader himself took a bottle of a rum that was on the table and took a wine glass, rum for a particular ritual. I would like to end this conversation by saying the destruction of social relations by the transatlantic slave trade and its reorganization under unfavorable conditions of Atlantic slavery became one of the focal areas of enslaved Africans. However, the evidence does show that at the level of the lowest common denominators, African slaves in the Caribbean created drinking customs that embraced their shared West Indian and West Central African beliefs about the spiritual meaning of alcohol. Commonly held beliefs about the spiritual importance of alcohol helped to unify Africans from various ethnocultural regions in the Caribbean. The sacred use of rum observed among African slaves in the Caribbean highlights the construction of new African-oriented drinking customs based on their shared beliefs. Thank you. Oops. For some reason, I can't hear you. Okay.
And can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Dr. Gordon Gill. So as you guys heard, rum is a way of both giving economic freedom, celebration, and also it's part of our heritage. And that is why we have rum here at BCA today. And this is why we're doing the cocktail masterclass today. Mix, muddle, and mash with BCA, Brunch and Play. It is to bring you all together. It is to celebrate with us. We have 40 years of great history. We have 40 years of collective preserving and celebrating Black British history. And we are doing it this year with rum. It is both for the African and Caribbean heritage that is running through our bones today. And it is a way for us to build our own money for BCA. We are selling it as a way to bring money back into the organization so that we can continue to do the work that we do every day. Dr. Gordon Gill, thank you so much for joining us. And guys, we're on to the second cocktail. So as you can see, I have another trusted helper. Let's give him a round of applause. welcoming Alicia. Alicia is also one of our visitor assistants here at BCA, and today she's going to make a cocktail with us. Have you ever made a cocktail before, Alicia?
Not that I remember.
Great. So this is also a sharing cocktail. So we have some pre-made already. As you can see, staff have been helping themselves kindly. But it is also BCA's showstopper. So we are going to be doing it today in voila! Our very own 40th watermelon jug. All it is a watermelon straight from Brixton Market, of course, shelled out in the inside with a tap. If you don't have one of these, don't worry. You can use a dispenser that you can, if you've got one at home, or just use a simple jug, as you've seen we did earlier. So I'll just place that here. Hopefully it doesn't roll off. Alicia, you ready?
I am.
Right. We're doing this one in a blender, guys. So this is for you.
Thank you.
And I want you, this is the watermelon that came out of our lovely jug, to put 8 big spoons of fresh watermelon into the blender. Into the blender. If you're doing this at home and you want to make the non-alcoholic version, follow along with us and I'll give you the adaptation. Doing the non-alcoholic version, add about 10 heaped spoons of watermelon. Let's go. What number are we on? It's fine, it's fine. It's in the kitchen. We have accidents. How many spoons are we on?
That was number 5.
6. Come on.
Ooh,
7. Last one. Hey! Now you want your soursop juice. Yep. We're going over to the Caribbean, guys. We're off. And you want 150 mils. So that's 125. And here's your extra 25. Oops, not open. It's not open. Give us a sec, guys. There we go. She's on it. She's on it. She's got it. She doesn't need me. 150 mils. Off you go. Can you smell that? Can you smell the tropical aromas coming out in your kitchen? Are you ready? That's it. And then you want 150 mils of watermelon juice. We're going hard with the watermelon, guys. We're going in with it. We're going in. Clear?
Oh, no, it's open.
Yeah, there we go. And I promise you, literally, we bought all these ingredients this morning. So there's no excuse. You've had your ingredients list for a week. I hope you're all ready. 150 mils. Now, as you're making this, Alicia, I need you to be thinking of a name. I need you to be thinking, what does it sound like it's going to be? And then we're going back to our cordials, guys. Do you remember the cordial you made earlier, the hibiscus one? With all that sugar that we heard someone be like, "Whoa, that's sweet." It's going in. You want 30 mils. So just over half of the 50 mil measure. And again, guys, if you're making the non-alcoholic one, keep following us. It's the same ingredients so far. Same ingredients. And then you want 50 mils of lime juice. And again, I'm sorry. This is the one thing I didn't prep this morning. I bought it. I did buy it. I bought the juice. But if you're at home, you can squeeze it. It's probably about, if you're good with your hands and can get a lot out, it's about 1.5 of a lime. Yep. And then you want some cayenne pepper. Now, it's up to you how much of this you add. If you can take the heat, I'd say about 2-3 teaspoons. If you can't take the heat, 1 or 2. Alicia, it's up to you. What are you going for? Just shake it in. Shake it in, or when your ancestors tell you to stop, you stop. Yeah. Oh, okay. Listen. Oh, okay. Okay, guys. Alicia's good. She's listen, it's not me making it. So if I hear complaints, it's my trusted assistant over here.
Is this going to have Scotch bonnet?
No, it's not going to have Scotch bonnet. Now, this is the only time you need to make a substitution if you are doing the non-alcoholic version. For us, we're doing the alcoholic version, and we're using peach snaps. You can use any peach liqueur. It doesn't need to be branded. And you want 50 mils. If you are doing the non-alcoholic version, please use peach juice. That is the only substitution you need to make, and it's 50 mils. There we go. And then you want a couple of dashes of Angostura bitter. If you're doing it at home, please, and you're doing the non-alcoholic version, do not add Angostura bitters. It is alcoholic. Though very small, it does have an alcoholic percentage. And of course, for our alcoholic one, we need the special ingredient, the rum. 150 mils, please, girl.
Just 100.
That's the 1, 2, 5. So one of that, and then one small one. Come on, give us the one. Give us the one. She's got the pour. She's done this before. Look at that pour. She was doing up and down. She was ready. I promise you, no training this morning.
Okay.
And then you want to add about 8 cubes of ice in it. Just guess. Yeah? A little bit more?
Yeah.
There we go. And we're ready. Now get the lids, which is here. Gonna close it up.
Ooh.
You're gonna add it. Is that done? Yeah, I think it's fine. We're gonna add it here. Hopefully that's in. Blend, my girl. Blend. Oh! Keep mixing. Muddle. Go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I think that's done. Okay. Now, open it. How you feeling? How do you think this is gonna be?
I may have made it wrong, but I think
There is no such thing as a wrong cocktail, guys. As long as you've added some ingredients, you make it to flavor how you want it to. If you want more, okay, maybe I'll put that on a little bit too tight. If you want more Scotch bonnet in your cocktails, as we did earlier, you add them. In this one, Alicia went wild with the cayenne pepper. It's not on me. We're gonna add it into our. Now, hopefully, this is closed. Don't have my glasses on, so I can't see.
yes.
Gonna pour it in. If it starts leaking on the table, let me know.
Yeah,
No, we're good. And it filled that up nicely. Well done, Alicia. Right. Gonna get you a cup. Now to taste your infamous work. You just hang it over, open it up, and it's pouring, guys.
Ooh.
Right. Alicia, taste and give us the verdict.
It is nice. It's just very spicy.
And whose fault is that,
It's
Alicia?
my fault.
It's your fault,
That's
indeed.
right.
So guys, don't be like Alicia and have that much cayenne pepper. But that's your share of cocktail. It's now ready for you to have some food today. And I'm going to call over someone with the staff at BCA staff, if you can come round and help yourself to Alicia's very spicy cocktail. If you come this way, grab a cup and give it a pour.
I think if you sip it slowly,
We've got our MD in the shop.
MD for like 4 hours.
MD for the last couple of hours of today. I think maybe we should dedicate this one to our amazing MD of the past few years, Erica. Okay. And the verdict is in. That is hot, guys. That is hot. So we're gonna call this one the Erica Okay for today, in honor of all that she has shared with BCA. She has shared her wisdom, she has shared her knowledge, she has shared her expertise, she has shared her love and her passion for Black British history. As the senior Black woman archivist in the UK, Erica Oke has given her all to BCA. And as she steps down and hands the baton over to Lisa Anderson, we thank her and we're going to give her a round of applause. And I want to say a huge thank you to all of you for joining in and getting involved. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're enjoying the cocktails. Right now, we're going to go over. We've got a little game of trivia that you can play at home as you're sipping on your cocktails. Remember the ingredients. We will post them in the chat very soon in case you want to make another one. If you're making for more than one person, do feel free to just times the measurements and it will make for the equivalent of the people you are doing it for. I hope you've enjoyed today. I've been your host, Hannah John. Feel free to pop down to BCA. We've got merch, as I am donning today. which I am loving. We've got rum, we've got the TFL BCA tube back in store, and it's over to trivia, guys. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon, and thank you for joining in. Bye.
One leg. I'm half caste. Explain yourself what you mean when you say half caste. You mean when Picasso mix red and green is a half caste canvas?
rules the nation with version.